Now we will look at the PDMP NDIIS Med Viewer and additional tabs. When accessing the PDMP within NDIIHN, this is a direct query to the North Dakota Board of Pharmacy's Prescription Drug Monitoring Program. All practitioners must be registered with the North Dakota Board of Pharmacy to have a PDMP account, and the NPI provided to NDIIHN must match the NPI number provided to the Board of Pharmacy during that account setup process. Sometimes an employer's NPI is used if you don't have your own, and if you have trouble accessing the PDMP, it is often because the NPI and account setup information doesn't match. The NDIIHN Help Desk can assist with that. Currently, any nurse delegates set up to access the PDMP cannot do so within the NDIIHN. We are working to resolve this. To access the PDMP, simply click on the link and it will launch. The information is organized into 3 sections. First, you see the risk indicator scores, and there are links to show how these are calculated. You can also access the Resources tab, and there is a tool to help find a treatment program in the patient's area. So you simply enter the zip code, and it will show you the 30 closest treatment programs closest to that patient. You also have some patient education documents that are available for use. We'll go back to the NARC report, and the next section is a color-coded graph so you can see at a glance what the person is taking. The more red on the graph, the more narcotics this person is taking. It is interactive, so you could click on a darker shaded area and it would give you more detailed information on the prescriptions that a person was taking at that particular time. As you scroll to the bottom, you can see the list of information on the medications that have been dispensed for this patient. Next, we have the North Dakota Immunization Information System. And when you click on that link, that also launches a direct query to the North Dakota Immunization Information System program. And it shows you the immunizations that this patient has already received. And it gives you an immunization forecast to help you know what to give this patient at his visits and certain points in time. We will go on to the Medicines Viewer tab. With the PDMP, you can see the narcotics that were dispensed. The Medicines Viewer tab shows information on all other medications, and this is done by a vendor called Dr. First, which is able to collect data from pharmacies across North Dakota. And this report is grouped by the name of the medication, and you can click to expand this to get more details on the dispensing history. If you want even more details, you can click on a row and it will provide you with even more details for that particular prescription. The current meds will be tagged with a green box or green tag in each row that shows up about in this area. This doesn't show up for me right now because this is the training environment, so these prescriptions do not meet the definition of being filled within the last 6 weeks, but they are very easy to identify in about this area of the chart. The next tab that we have is the Timeline tab, and this gives you an overall perspective of a patient's medical history with a visual representation of encounters available for this patient. So you have a data point for each encounter. If you have stacked data points, you would be able to highlight this and expand them, so it would give you easier access to those data points. But as you hover over each one, you get additional information as far as where they went and the date and the reason and so forth. When you come down to the bottom and hover over these data points, it helps you to see what was done for that patient and what tests were done at that time. And if you click on any of these, it says open document, but it would take you right to that specific lab report. So this would be another shortcut for you to use. The external record tab is what you would use if you knew that this patient went out of state recently for some health care. So you would be able to do your search in this tab. You just click on the add button If you knew he went to Alaska, you could search Alaska and add it to your list and select apply. This will not give me results, as again, I'm working in a training environment and it will not do an actual search. Images I will skip because that was done in a separate training. Circle of care has also been talked about in a separate training. So the last tab remaining is the lab results flow sheet. And this gives you all of the lab results for the patient in one flow sheet. And it's all the information that is displayed as received from the sending facilities, including the reference range. The abnormal labs are indicated in red and by the single or double stars, and also the subscript notation for multiple reference ranges. And these can be graphed if you perhaps wanted to follow certain reports over time. And this can also be printed. Be mindful that if you print it, you cannot customize this. So this could be printing years and years of reports. So just be mindful of that.